And thank you everyone for being here. Let's go ahead and jump into the games now. We're continuing with Forgive Me, Father. In fact, the plan is to finish this game. I think we've got like just a few levels left. I looked it up a couple, like maybe a week or so ago, to see how many bosses there are. And I think I saw that this act that we're in does not have a ton of levels, or a ton of bad guys, that is. What am I trying to say? Yeah, not a ton of levels. So I'm gonna turn the audio down. It's a little bit loud. So I mean, the levels are a little bit longer. We learned last time. The level that we did, basically the last one we did, it was that very elaborate, kind of maze-like level. It took a long time. Alright, he crashes into us. Who could forget? Whoever that he crashes into us after they die. I'm guessing that you can't actually fall through the universe. You can't just fall through time and space. I guess it's okay for me to go over this way. This is like a little bit trippy. But yeah, that last level was definitely a doozy. It took a... Ooh. Is that good? Is it good that I've entered the void? Whoa. Oh, it's a secret. Oh, okay. So you end up on the other side. You get some armor, some health, some ammo. Guess that's a sign I should be using this thing if we got a bunch of explosive ammo. As you go through this little archway. So anyway, so yeah, I've kind of got the impression that the levels will be maybe a little bit longer, because again, that last one was a doozy. But it's basically one big lead up to what I think is going to be the final boss.
Reaching the source.
Reaching the source. In fact, what if this is just the final boss fight? Wouldn't that be some shit? Wouldn't that be some shit? What if I got to just the very, very end of the game? Man, I mean, by that point, maybe I should have just kept going then. Actually, this strikes me more as like an enemy rush. I think we got a bit before we get to the full-ass end, as opposed to the partial-ass end. It's a giant gobbler. The giant goobler. Remember, those guys will pop. They'll like launch towards us when they get got. These guys are so wimbly. It's kind of hard to nail them sometimes. You're gonna be hitting me with a bunch of fellers, and not a lot of Cinderellas. This thing kind of functions as a sniper rifle, and yet I'm having a hard time hitting that guy. He's too far away. It needs to be the more hit scan weapons. There we go. See, as I can reach him, it actually did reach him. I'm impressed. There we go. Knowing that this is actually quite effective against those little fellas. Because it doesn't, like, super accurately home in on them, but it like, zeroes in on them quickly enough and accurately enough. It's not like a guaranteed homing shot, but it'll kind of curve towards the bad guys. So it'll kind of arc towards them. And that seems to make all the difference. All the difference in the world. And we're all set with heals and with all of our special abilities. And I feel like such a chump. I haven't used our holy water sprinkler even once to stun bad guys. We've used the invulnerability frames a little bit, and I think I accidentally used the infinite ammo power up, the temporary infinite ammo power up for a little bit. I think I used that by accident once or twice. But other than that, I've really only had to use the iframes, invincibility frames, and the heals. We've used the heals quite a bit, especially in those kind of quieter areas when we're in between big fights and I find I'm lower on resources than I wanted to be. We've gotten all the resources we can handle at this point. Apologies, I'm doing my best not to, like, be too gross. Like... actually, my nose is being on pretty good behavior. I haven't really had any major, like, gross mucusy buildups at least in a minute. And don't have like too much gunk. Like, I'm not like, you know, hacking and coughing too bad, but there might be some of that later on. So we'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear. Glad I feel a lot better. compared to a couple days ago, because that was quite unpleasant. Look at this. It's like a corruption stream all of a sudden. So yeah, so we're not quite done. We're not like quite at boss areas, but we're definitely on this like what is clearly kind of being treated as like kind of a major build-up. It's a cool effect when they zoom in towards you like that. It's scary when they're coming at you, and it seems like they pop in midair. It's not like they hit the ground and explode. Ouch. Seems like they kind of explode right in front of you, or like in midair, and there's like shrapnel that jumps out. Take a moment to blow my nose, though. Yeah, you probably noticed I was kind of looking at that. I wonder if I can jump towards that area. Actually, it's possible that's where we need to go. It's certainly possible that's where we're expected to go. Armor there. That's not a secret, though. It's too out in the open.
Dangerous jobs require
It's a plain secret. The secret to everyone. I'm just going to assume that, unlike earlier, when we were just kind of walking... Actually, hold on. I'm looking to see if there's, like, collisions. Maybe there is, actually. Because earlier, we were just kind of walking along time and space. Casually, like it's just no big deal. And we weren't like falling. We weren't like falling through infinity or anything. It was just very chill, very casual. Oh, I hear fellas. Somewhere? Oh, I see fellas. Oh, oh, okay. And I'm dead. All right, never mind. I'm full of shit. I thought maybe it was okay. But now we know. Now I found out for science. It was an intentional death. I did it for scientific purposes, of course. All the more reason then for me to be a little bit more careful with my steps here, with my decisions. That is a cool sound effect. It's a cool explosion noise. I can appreciate like a very unique explosion sound effect like that. It's like a firework going off.
This will save
a very pronounced crack. And you know me, I'm always down for a good pronounced crack. What can I say? What can I say? Yeah, so I don't think we can make that jump, and knowing that it is indeed a kill plane down below means I definitely got to be on my bestest behavior. So we'll go the intended route. Actually, I say intended route. Hold on. Oh, that's how we got here. Yeah, that's how we got here. Never mind. I thought I was a genius. Because there's like other stuff up top. Nah, I don't think that's it. Do not think that's it. This is probably what we're going for. And it was right around, I think it was when we jumped down is when bad guys started to spawn. It was down there. Oh, no, I'm full of shit. It was after this point. There we go. Alright, that's, you're one of the guys that's gonna try to pop. Oh, okay, he successfully popped. He popped right in my face. Speaking of popping in someone's face, I don't know who posted to the Discord server, but there was that incredible video someone posted to the Discord server where it's two women watching football, and they're like very uninterested and bored. One of them's reading, one of them's like playing on their like iPad or something like that, and they're like hearing these ridiculous fucking things that the commentators are saying. This man's been having men come on his face all day. Men are just coming at him constantly. This man's been handling a lot of balls. He's been having a lot of balls in his face back to back. This man's been taking it so good. Like a bunch of out of context kind of play-by-plays, like commentary of football activities, and they're like, at first they're kind of blasé about it, but then like the more they hear, they're like, all right, now this is getting interesting. Okay, I'm willing to listen if it's going to be overtly weird and crude and sexual. Like, now you got my attention. I show that to so many people and they all love it. showed it to Gracie, showed it to a bunch of friends. Everyone was like, this is amazing. And also, for a lot of us, we would probably be more willing to watch football if it got more unhinged more readily like that. So that was a real treat. Renee likes football. Oh, I should clarify, it's American football, as opposed to what we call soccer. Yeah, in football, in European football, you're not really handling a lot of balls, but we are playing with balls with our feet, which is, also what some people are going to be really, really, really into. Excuse me. Alright, so we got a path this way. I'm kind of curious what this, with that little, like, kind of warp zone thing, this little portal thing, that's definitely got something. We actually might have to do both. There's like some kind of ethereal pillar. Maybe there's like 2 switches we gotta hit. Yeah, when it comes to American football, Thanksgiving Thursday is always like a really big football kind of day, for one reason or another. But there's always like, yeah, a very, very like well advertised and well, oh, I see. Jump on the lights. Okay, so we're okay. Yeah, it's always a big deal. There's always a big to do about the Thanksgiving Day football game. It's never the same teams or anything. I think it's, and in fact, I don't even know if there's really any significance to the NFL league necessarily. I can't make that jump, can I? I can't make those jumps. I can't make these cuffs. I'm gonna assume we just gotta follow the blinking lights. But there's definitely something over there. Guessing. Yeah, we drop down. Yeah, so we can't assume the lights will always be there. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's any significance to the Thanksgiving Thursday game other than it falls on Thanksgiving and it's just an enjoyable, an easy pastime for a lot of us, just having it on the background after having a big old Thanksgiving dinner. We all ate teleported back. Or we all ate too much food and regret nothing, and maybe regret some things. Maybe some of us hate ourselves a little bit for overindulging. How little damage I'm doing to that observer. I'm trying to land my shots, Shane. I'm trying to be an MLG gamer. Go to my rocket launcher so I can hit him with one of these. See, I'm gonna splort all over him. Splort on me good, Big Daddy, is what that guy probably said, probably. Up against the wall. The exciting music makes me still think that there's like something nearby, but I think we're in the clear. Yeah, American football, you're a fan of the Ravens. Are you, do you have a, like a connection to Baltimore? So the Baltimore Ravens, right? Or if you're just a fan of the Ravens as a bird, that's also pretty cool and pretty valid. I do appreciate that the butt rock, it's more butt metal. The butt metal is yet to cease. I'm okay with this. And now we're in a... Why are we in a David Lynchian hallway and or, I don't know, sanitarium of sorts? Has like that asylum kind of vibe. Brings a lot of revenue, yeah. From just, if not just from a viewership perspective alone. Damn, yeah, its significance to the league is probably indifferent, but yeah, just the fact that it brings in a lot of viewers is no doubt important. You know, just that in that of itself. Gonna be checking every single door ever. Probably. Whoa! This is gonna be a little bit tricksy. Earlier I was trying to land my shots at these guys, and now I'm able to do exactly that. I'm gonna be sad when this game ends, because it means no more worm launcher, explosive worm launcher fella, which I've really been enjoying. I'm glad I made this upgrade. Even though it's not always a good idea, there's been a number of situations where this weapon is a danger, if not straight up liability to use. But in the times like this, when it's like very easy and very fun to use, it's great. That being said, I am curious to try out the second game. We'll play a decent bit of the second game for sure. And I'm sure it also has like quite a lot of unique, really cool and like upgradable weapons. I assume it has like a similar system. I'm sure we'll see some repeats. I'm sure some weapons will come back, maybe with some alternate upgrade options. We have good things to look forward to for sure, but I'm gonna miss this worm launcher for sure. Who up right now launching they worm right now? Yeah, Baltimore. Browns fan though. Are the Ravens and the Browns butting heads constantly? Because I don't know if I'm not too familiar with a lot of rivalries with American football. December 26th is a big football. Yeah, European football. That makes sense. The shirt, the jersey, the glasses, got the cap, Drenae's all dripped out. Hell yeah. Well, says mortal enemies. Division rivals, that would make sense. That makes a lot of sense. It didn't kill him. You were supposed to die. Pretty irresponsible to not die from that explosion, bro. Get freaking harpooned. Oh, that's this thing. Whoops. There we go. There's one more explosion still. One more fella. Thought there was one more fella.
Glad I could find these.
I appreciate that there was like that whole hallway full of rooms and we only just found one and pressed a switch. I wonder if there were other secrets we could have maybe found. Or if maybe you were kind of guaranteed where the third room you checked was going to have a switch and that was going to be all you needed. Regardless, I'll go and save.
Thank you.
Game saved. Now, doors open. Finish the level, get a bunch of resources. We got one of two secrets, no story things to find necessarily. They're the reason your team was gone for 3 years? When you say gone, do you mean like just not in the running for the postseason, or do you mean like the team just wasn't in the NFL at all for 3 years? So I've never heard of any like any drama specifically between those two teams, but I can understand the division rivalry aspect. You're the Chiefs. Ah, they're the big ones. I wouldn't necessarily expect there to be any particular rivalry between the Ravens and the Chiefs, other than the fact that everybody hates the Chiefs right now because they've been winning so much. Now, granted, I'm in Missouri, and specifically St. Louis. Some of you might remember back in the good old days, circa the year 2000, back when we won the Super Bowl, St. Louis had our own NFL team. It was the Rams. We're now, I want to say Los Angeles. I think the Rams are in LA now. Or maybe it's San Fran, somewhere in California, one of the major Californian cities. But for many, many years, we had our own NFL team. It was the St. Louis Rams, and they were great for a hot minute there. Motherfucking Kurt Warner, he was the man. He was the man with the plan. Everybody freaking loved Kurt Warner. He was the fucking hometown hero right there. But yeah, I want to say like, gosh, I think it was like 2000. I think it was after I graduated. I think it was like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. There was this whole big situation where the Rams got sold to, I want to say, yeah, Los Angeles, San Francisco, somewhere out west in California. And it was kind of a situation where nobody was a fan of how that whole thing went out. The people who brokered the deal clearly, like, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was the name Kroenke, I think. Kroenke. The person who brokered the deal definitely did not have St. Louis in his best interests. And everybody agreed that, like, St. Louis kind of got shorted by the whole deal. Now, granted, like, a lot of people were already upset that we were losing a big football team, or losing an NFL team. Like, that already kind of stung. But the fact that we got it screwed out of what really should have been a bigger payout was a bummer. So, for a while, like, the whole situation with the Rams was kind of a point of consternation for a lot of folks here. A lot of people were pretty bummed. And obviously, for the closest team, NFL team we had was the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, Missouri. Not Kansas City, Kansas. There is a Kansas part of Kansas City, but yeah, we're talking Kansas City, Missouri. The far west side of the state. So yeah, for a lot of us, it was a bit of a bummer for a good couple years there. But Kansas City's been fucking cleaning up lately. They've been fucking gaming for the past, I guess, several years now. The past 2 in particular. And no, I don't just mean Taylor Swift. I mean, Taylor Swift did single-handedly win the Super Bowl by herself. But I also mean the team in general has been performing quite well. So now, suddenly all of us St. Louisians who are belly aching about, you know, the St. Louis Rams situation, suddenly we're doing okay. You know, suddenly a lot of us are actually doing all right about that whole situation. Now that we've got a sort of adopted hometown hero in the form of the Kansas City Chiefs. That's pretty cool. What's not so cool is I'm trying to see if this is like a thing I can reach. This seems like it could be a secret. But I don't know if I can make that jump. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to try one more time. If I can't do it, we're moving on. Owner took the team and moved it to Baltimore. Oh, so he wasn't allowed to keep them as the Browns. Interesting. So that would explain then, well, where there's probably at least some. Oh, I'm a gamer. At least some animosity, at least towards Baltimore in general, because that does sound really shitty. Could have maybe had a Super Bowl win by now. Yeah, that's really disappointing then. So then the Browns came back, but like, did a bunch of players get traded to Baltimore? As yeah, it sounds like you guys probably got screwed over then, which is pretty shitty. I can make that jump. I can break those cuffs. Oh, I can't break those cuffs. We tried to break those cuffs. And move location is wild, yeah. It's one thing to move location, it's another thing to like get bought out, you know. I mean, I guess ultimately it leads to the same outcome, but yeah, the idea of buying and trading NFL teams, it is an odd concept. It really is. Like, I'm sure it's happened throughout history more than I think it has. I struggle. Whoa, I fell down. I struggle to think of any, like, obvious examples when it has happened ever. Of course, this is coming from somebody who really doesn't keep up with sports very much. I've been a huge sports guy myself. I mean, I enjoy when things are exciting, you know? I enjoy when it's like... a classic example was baseball. St. Louis is a big baseball city. We're a pretty big hockey city, not a huge football city anymore, obviously. We make up for all that by being a baseball-obsessed city. I don't really give two shits about baseball. It's fine. I'm happy that other people are excited about it. It's just not my cup of tea. But I will say, it is exciting when things are tense. And so a lot of us, for those who might be listening in who are from the city area, you remember 2011, right? World Series 2011, World 6, the World Series. So it's a best of 7, first to 4 wins. World 6 of the World Cities. We're down and we're looking bad. We've got one last guy up to bat, and we're down we're like in dire straits, and it really comes down to the last pitch on the last inning. Motherfucker lands the perfect home run, seals the deal on Game 6. We go to Game 7, we take the World Series. That shit was fucking baller. That shit was so exciting. So when things are exciting, I'm what's called a fair weather fan. I'm a fan when things are cool and things are exciting. But when things are boring and it's the mid-season and it's like, who the fuck cares? It's the regular shit. And it's just a regular-ass game, and it's a regular Tuesday, and I'd rather be playing games, I'd rather be doing this, I'd rather be doing that. I'm such a Scrooge. I'm such like I don't want to watch baseball. That sounds lame. When things are hot, bro, I'm there. I'm fucking there when things are, like, really pumping. And that happens so infrequently, obviously. That shit never happens. Like, when are sports ever, like, that exciting? Like, really, really exciting. I would argue very rare. Very rarely are things really exciting. Now, that being said, there's some NBA stuff that's kind of cool that happened, I want to say, fairly recently. I feel like I heard some cool shit that happened in the NBA sphere this past season. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I can think it. Well, for one thing, motherfucking women's college ball has been popping off. Caitlin Clark has been like setting all kinds of records, and same kind of thing there. I really don't give two shits about basketball,
got to protect
men's
myself.
or women's, college or otherwise, NBA or otherwise. But like, dude, fucking Caitlin Clark's been popping off. That shit's cool. So like, there's cool stuff for sure. But no, I only catch the highlights, man. So they didn't get traded. The whole team left. Wow, that's awful. They had to rebuild from scratch. That's miserable. Because that's the thing, when you've got an existing team, even if some of the players are getting older, even if people are like looking towards retirement pretty soon, you can still use those, you know, some of those players as trades. You know, it might sound kind of weird to like see them as like human capital necessarily, but no, I mean it's legit. It is a resource for the team to be able to use. So yeah, when the whole team evaporates like that, then that's gonna suck for everybody. It's gonna really be unfair. So yeah, I feel bad that had to happen to your team. Well, that is really shitty. And like you said, had that not happened, you could have had some of that momentum and kind of built off it. Then you're right, you probably could have had at least been in the running for the postseason by that point. So yeah, I also, Will, I appreciate that you stuck by your team. Because I bet a lot of people were like, man, fuck this shit sucks. Like, this is a sinking ship. I'm out. I'm converting to another kind of team. Not Whale, though. He sticks by his team. I respect that, Whale. Mark of a true fan right there. Not one of these Faraday chumps like Super Hobbit. He's a real one. What I was gonna say, I want to blow that thing up. I want to explode their faces. I mentioned a bunch. I love that fully upgraded shotgun. Shark face shotgun. I love that shit. Do not love this guy, though. Not a big fan of the Glocks. Although it is a funny name. Love how this penetrates. Yes, I love penetrating the dudes. I love getting penetrated. Actually, I don't really love getting penetrated by the dudes, but I love penetrating them. You heard me right. I'll say it with my full ass chest. Maybe even my full penis. Who knows? Ouch.
There's never.
I'm gonna teleport me out pretty soon. I can smell it. Yep, I got teleported. I'm assuming this is the same, like, bundle of resources every time. I figure they're not gonna give me the same bundle every time. I'm really enjoying these kind of maybe not non-Euclidean, but these kind of disjointed sequences. Where we're not just going in the same theme every time. I like how now it's like a series of hallways, kind of looking like oh, we get some story. Kind of looking like a university, or maybe this is more of a hotel, but looking less out in the wilderness and out in space and time, but more just like regular stuff. So I appreciate the diversity in areas right now. Nordique de Quebec. Which the USA became Colorado. I did not know that one. Shifty football with a few bright spots, yeah. Well, you've been putting in the hours, man. Hours and years for that matter. It's an institution. Whale sticking by it, man. The Olympics, yeah. Never catch any of that shit, but you... Oh, but you do watch all of it. Because I thought you were going to say, Rossi, that you catch the highlights. Because that's what I do. I catch the highlights. Lord of eternity. I catch the highlights. I pay attention to, like, the clips. You know, the like, the fun moments, the highlights that are exciting and cool. But no, I don't really watch a whole lot of it while it's happening.
Office, but...
Again, fair weather fan through and through right here. What I do enjoy are, like, the funny moments in the Olympics. And I don't mean funny, like, in the expense of others, but the kind of stuff that... Kill one guy and suddenly we're back. I don't mean, like, funny, like, you know, something unfortunate happening. But, you know, truly remarkable things. There was... What was it the most recent time? It was a pole vaulter that got disqualified because his generous package... like, tipped the pole vaulting boundary. The threshold he was trying to clear. It's like he probably would have made it, but his bulge was like a little bit too generous, and that's one of those like hashtag big dick problems. Motherfucker was like, I'm sure he was bummed, but at the same time he was probably like, I mean, it's one of those. Guys like, hey man, sorry you got disqualified. He'd probably do one of those like, I mean, you know, I'm complaining too much. Hashtag big dick problems. Jealous? I'm envious. I got some bulge envy. I can't say that much. Yeah, clear the bar. I guess. Yeah, it's probably just called the bar. Clear the bar. Yeah. So, like, those kinds of moments are things that I enjoy. I mean, man, I remember back in, like, I guess it would have been 2016, I think. Maybe it was 2014, somewhere around there, when motherfucking Michael Phelps was the hero of the United States swim team, obviously. He came out of nowhere and was, you know, setting all kinds of records. He was just a fucking superstar, and that was really exciting, too. Didn't hurt that, again, it was you know, USA representing. I'm not sure if the pole vaulter was the United States, but the aforementioned big dick problems pole vaulter. Vulture of the poles. But, oh shit, I hit the stairs. There we go. So hit my own face, did quite a bit of damage. The armor, though. But yeah, Michael Phelps, like, popping off, that was exciting. Did we already? Oh, I've not been here. Okay. I saw the one bundle of ammo. Boop. Sure, if I miss one of these jumps, I'll be dead forever. Boop. You have to make the hup noise when you jump, or else you don't jump as good. That's how it works in games like this. I remember like some of those like more high-profile moments. Oh, I was supposed to jump. Whoops. Let's wait. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, bunch of good players then. Oop. Oh, I missed. Oh, but that's actually kind of nice. They you take a little bit of damage and then just respawn, so it's not uber punishing with an instant death, which is kind of nice. Almost got to the end. Ravens got to have success right out of the gate. Yeah, that's the thing, because they got all those great players. Yeah, that explains the jealousy comment. Because yeah, that sounds pretty brutal. I keep looking in the wrong places. Almost lost it, but we pulled it back. We pulled out just in the nick of time. But to be clear, I was also envious of that man's generous package. It goes all the correct ways. Every single one.
I appreciate your kindness.
That one floating little gateway. A pre-battle blowing of my nose. Really getting myself in the mood. When the Ravens are involved, there's nothing friendly, says Whale. Says, get him out of here. Get him the fuck out of here. Yeah, like I said, I don't blame him. I don't blame at least a small amount of salt. Now, I don't think they're going to throw us into a boss battle. I feel like the boss battle is going to be its own individual kind of experience. Because I think that's how the previous boss battles have been. You start a level, and then it kind of throws you right in. As opposed to, like, doing a bunch of stuff and then a boss battle. So I think this is all just... This might be the last, like, standard level. Maybe.
More bullets.
More science is needed to confirm this theory. The big gauntlet. Is a door gonna close behind me? You bet your sweet titties it is. So there I was. Barbecue sauce on my titties. Oh, it went for him. I thought it was gonna go for this guy. These fucking running fellas. It's a running fool. When I started to really feel sick a couple days ago. On Monday, I was kind of feeling it, but Tuesday, I was like, oh, fuck, this sucks. Like I woke up Tuesday morning, and I was like, this is a shitty time. And, you know, and Grace and I were, of course, talking. It's like, well, how are we going to do for Thanksgiving? And I was like, well, we'll play it by ear, and we'll play it by ear. But I was encouraged. I was like, you know what? I'm not, like, punking out just yet. And the way I knew that it wasn't, like, horrible, it wasn't, like, terror bad, was because I was still able to do, like, funny voices. Can't remember what it was, but I was doing some kind of impression of one of the cats. Of, like, one of the cats getting angry and stupid about something. And I was still able to do a dumb voice. And I was like, alright, that's when you know it's like, it's still, I'm living at least. I'm living through whatever this is. Like, you know, it's really bad if I'm like,
This
if I'm
bottle
like
deserves to be emptied.
doing a stupid voice for the cats, like Shayna, for instance. If she's like, I need some fucking attention or I'm gonna fucking die. Like, if I attempt that voice and I'm like, I need some, that's how you know I'm like on death's door. But if I'm able to do a stupid impersonation of one of our animals without my voice cracking, then we gonna be all right. Alright, we picked up all the resources. I tactically chose not to kill the last fella. Also, for one thing, I'm trying to catch up with this fool. Chose not to kill the last fella, so I could gather all the stuff. I knew it was gonna yoink me out, and sure enough, it keeps replenishing the supplies. That's very generous. I just jumped down? Nah, I probably can't. Get to see Michael Phelps in the flesh. That's cool. Invested in your soccer team. That's awesome. By the 49ers owners. I would have never guessed, but that's really cool. But that being said, I'm not terribly surprised. I'm not sure which football team that is, ironically, but I suspect it's probably a very, very popular one. Like a very successful one. And of course, you know, when they're successful like that, they are pulling in some money. You know, they're pulling in some dollars or some euros or pound sterling. And when there's like big money involved, then yeah, there's people, there are enterprising sports entrepreneurs who, you know, they're like, hey, you know, maybe this is a little bit outside of our wheelhouse, but you know what, we're willing to throw in some dosh to maybe pull a little something. You know, try to turn a buck or two out of this thing. So yeah, suddenly we're a little bit more interested, a little bit more invested. Literally, in this case, being invested.
A shrine to mark my progress.
Michael Phelps and Will Ferrell, of all things. Some songs will just do that to you. They'll just get stuck in your brain. Like a fucking brainworm. It'll just burrow itself into your cerebellum. And there's no way to yoink it out. Save maybe for years of therapy. Like how the box is all faced me.
There's no way
Doors are locked. No way in. Can't use my tentacle rocket launcher to blow the door off. Ooh, that being said, I probably could blow this thing up.
I did not expect this to be calming.
A secret. This is not really a game where destructible walls are like a huge focus, but there have been a handful of instances where either obviously or maybe not so obviously, I like the wallpaper wall, it's kind of fun. Obviously or not so obviously, there'll be like a little crack in the wall that would expose itself, and I'm all for exposing my crack or exposing someone else's crack. I don't know. Regardless, I'm all down for it. Hell yeah. And now we're sailing on the Sea of Madness to take us to what might be the final level and maybe the final boss battle encounter. About to find out, baby. Let's see what awaits. I hope it's friends. Is friendship the ultimate trial? Is battling loneliness the true final boss? And finding inner peace from within?
I do not care what you are going to
Or is the final boss a giant Lovecraft-inspired demon creature? I'm gonna expect it's the latter.
And you messed with me.
Okay, they're giving us a bunch of shit, pretty much refilling everything, and I'm full on everything apparently. Look at that, I can't pick up shit.
Mark my words.
Armor, health, I've got everything I could possibly carry and then some. We'll save. Let it be known, our fella is no longer here. I mean, maybe I wasn't paying as close of attention. Was he not there last time? I thought he was. There's still his booze. There's like a skeleton. There's no little tentacle fella anymore. I'll be sad if he's gone. I'll be sad if he got. He was our like one true friend, or the one true constant this whole time. You know, the whole thing about our cousin, the whole thing about humanity falling by the wayside with the people joining the cult. Even our own sanity being called into question, and now our one true consistent friend and ally is gone forever. Uh-oh. Cthulhu? Where? Oh, right there, probably. Okay. Nope. don't get got. Yep. I think I need to be paying better attention to my environment. Oh, we're really just fighting Cthulhu, huh? I wonder if he has a weak spot. Kind of like the previous big boss. Not the like the little clusters of little fellas, but like the previous big boy. That would do like the belly slams. That guy had a weak spot and it was his big tum-tums. Alright, well I'm not sure if I'm gonna be seeing this all the way through. In the first attempt, but we'll have more attempts, of course, and I'll also have. Oh, he's getting sad. It's like, oh god, a bunch of. It's a bullet hell all of a sudden. He's like looking really sad. He's looking pretty worse for wear. Although I'm not doing much better. Could heal. I probably should heal. I never did get any more levels. Oh, I got so close to another level. Not that there's much that I really... blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, I'm fucking dead. I got stuck on the wall, goddamn. I got fucking eviscerated. Alright, now that we've kind of got a bit of a taste for this, let's see if we can do this proper. Unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to be able to use our souped-up rocket launcher, but of course we do have the standard rocket launcher, which doesn't have any upgrades for upping the damage. We could up the firing rate, but I'm not sure that would really help us at this point. So it's kind of a summary of kind of what happened in those days. Gotcha. I mean, it is interesting hearing about these kinds of things. Even as a person that's nearly not into sports necessarily, I do find these kinds of things fascinating, especially when it's like a rivalry of sorts. You know, rivalry between two teams within the same division. I mean, Baltimore and Cleveland, right? Cleveland, they're not like that geographically close together, but yeah, being within the same division and like constantly having some history, and not just the usual kind of history, not the usual kind of history and the usual kind of rivalry that you would expect. A good example, I was mentioning how St. Louis, you know, we're like a pretty decently like enthusiastic hockey city. But we're primarily more of a baseball city. And when it comes to hockey rivalries, oh, there we go, we got him on the, maybe not on the fences, but he's definitely hurting. Yeah, when it comes to our hockey teams, yeah, St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks have, whoa, shit. They've had like a decent rivalry over the years, a decently sized rivalry. Maybe not quite as pronounced as, whoa, shit, as other, oh, fuck, team rivalries, but yeah, it's decently decently pronounced. I have to invoke those iframes. Oh god, man, it just covers my face. I have to invoke that iframe building a little bit here, so I can kind of push through the damage. So yeah, the St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks, and honestly, if we're talking about St. Louis and Chicago, I also have to mention the not quite as pronounced. It's kind of been more muted in more recent years. But yeah, originally, a much more pronounced rivalry between the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team and the Chicago Cubs. But that kind of diminished over the years when the Chicago Cubs, you know, went, what was it, like 100 some odd years without getting any World Series wins. The Chicago Cubs curse. Curse of the Billy Goat, that's what we called it. I'm sure this will do much more damage. It's doing very little damage, honestly. Ouch. It's a bit awkward of a boss battle where I'm having to like look up to shoot at him, but like look at the ground very, very deliberately to make sure I don't get tickled. I think I'm supposed to jump when he does that like ground pen attack. Yeah, I think it's exactly it. It's not quite so obvious. It's not like the ground is glowing like this. Like that's a more obvious kind of AoE, but I think when he raises his arms up, it makes like a noise. Get ready to jump. Not this one though. There's just this orb that just kind of rolls around and is very in the way and awkward. Oh, I had the wrong thing. Shit. Just paying attention. So yeah, it was pretty much all of our rockets. I'm not sure if he's gonna have like another phase, or if he just has the one health bar. Since he is, I think, the final boss, it wouldn't shock me. Oh, okay. It wouldn't shock me, if he was gonna have like another bonus phase. Shit. I'm gonna avoid getting hit by that guy. Pretty good health-wise. Ouch. Oof, oof, oof. Oh, man, I got fucking bounced real bad. Oh, then that happens, yeah. This little lump that's, like, following me around is getting really annoying real fast. I'm gonna actually use this, so I can just ignore his bullshit for a bit. I'm still getting, like, jostled, but I'm ignoring damage for a little bit. Oh, he's real sad. Look how sad he is. Good. He should stay sad. He should stay sad, and he should feel bad about himself as a person. And by person, I mean demon thing, eldritch entity. It's just me, or is this phase a lot easier? That middle phase is rough, but this is a lot simpler. Give me, like, the well-projected attacks over anything, any day of the week. Yeah, that was nothing. That second phase was really tough, but use that iframe ability, you're good to go. Third phase is nothing. Yeah, give me like the well-telegraphed stuff any day of the week.
Lord of everything.
Since I killed him, does that make me the Lord of everything?
The ruler laughs sarcastically, looking into your eyes. He says this pain will never end. His voice is still powerful.
Even though I decapitated his ass?
Convulsions come with this sound. You feel that your body is changing.
Oh shit.
You're writhing in pain.
Have I become
grow from your face, from
the father?
Back, your wings. Do you already understand what is happening?
If I become the father that must be forgiven?
The pain. Let go. You regain your eyesight. You feel like after strong drugs.
Well, I might be on some strong drugs depending on what's around me.
Can you see these people? Normal people.
Was it all a dream?
Yes, they're looking at you.
Was it all just an elaborate dream? Are they pulling us a Mario 2 on us?
You killed all the townspeople and your own cousin in a manic frenzy.
Ah, that's the story then.
Do you already understand what is happening? Do you already understand what you've done? This pain will never end.
So whether or not that is indeed what went down, or if that's like the lie we're being fed, I guess we'll have to find out. And we'll be finding out soon, because we're going to be starting up the sequel in a moment here as well. Don't let the credits play out. Because yeah, that was like the whole... That was like the basic events that we saw transpire. Where we were... Let's see, what was it? Our cousin reached out to us at the very start. They were talking about how our cousin has reached out to us because he's been pursuing some kind of weird, fucked up cult kind of thing, some kind of cult activity in this area where, in like our hometown. And he's like discovered something terrible, but he needs our help. And he writes to us, and we go to help him. But when we can't find him, like we're picking up clues that he left along the way for us. We're trying to like catch up to him, but we're always like a few steps behind him. So we're trying to find him. All the way we're finding hints and indications of some cult that is formed. We eventually find the cult has killed him, and that this cult is being led by this like powerful governor that holds dominion over the town. And this cult that we find, like we see this big town that is like just full of humans that are possessed. We have to kill all of them. and we of course kill the governor, but then we have to go for the thing that was controlling him from the get-go. Got endless mode as well. That's kind of cool. So it's true, we did kind of technically kill a bunch of townspeople, and our cousin did die, but it was in, of course, pursuit of vanquishing this cult. But if this power hierarchy stretches farther than we first thought, if there's other things that are pulling the strings, it would not surprise us. I'm curious what endless mode is. Okay, so it's like arena fights. That's kind of cool. Arena fights that are presumably endless. It's pretty cool. There's different difficulty settings. There's the priest, as well as the journalist. There is a second character you can play as in this game. I think they have different skill levels. The priest has more, like, defensive abilities, things that heal him, things that give him protection. Whereas the journalist has abilities that probably do more damage, shorter cast times, more aggressive playstyle. So the journalist is more offensively focused. I assume the overall story and level setup is the same. I assume that like all that's really different is maybe the voiceover and some of the character models and the cutscenes. But I do find that impressive that there's two different characters with their own implied playstyles and their own skill sets. Which so that was Forgive Me, Father, in all of its splendor. Really cool retro revival boomer shooter that I very much enjoyed. This has been on my list to play for a long time. In fact, I remember we were playing. What were we playing? We were playing another boomer shooter like a year or two ago, and I remember one of our friends, I want to say it was Woo, recommended it to us. It's like, by the way, if you enjoy this, it was something kind of similar, some kind of horror-inspired boomer shooters. Like, you should check this out. Maybe it was one of those Doom wads. We played a number of Doom wads back in the day.